Okay, so I want to show you guys something, all right? I want to show you guys something that I saw. I know I just took down the other picture, but here, look at this picture for me. You guys see this picture? This is the picture of liberalism to me. Now, this is what liberalism looks like to me. It looks like colors and fun and you know, I have a speculation, like I have an idea in my head, yeah. In my head, this looks like people who have not grown past childhood, people who stopped growing at childhood. Either that is the issue, or Suka, I see a clown, or it is that they are aiming this towards children or trying to get, because what do fun colors do? What are fun colors for, class? Come on, class, on a fine Sunday. What are colors, bright colors, for? Not in the wild. When it comes to humans, humans use bright colors. No, not in the wild, Keela. I'm talking about humans. Humans use bright colors to get attention of children and young-minded people, because when you're trying to get a child to concentrate, if you have everything in black and white, like college level, university level stuff, they're not going to be interested, right? What we do is make things bright and colorful and pretty. And we tell each child, you can pick a color. Timmy, you want to be blue? What's your favorite color, Timmy? Blue? Okay, you'll be blue. Okay, Katie, what's your favorite color? And this is how we do it, right? When I see these people, look at this picture on your screen. This is liberalism at its finest. This is the icon for liberalism. And I tell you why. The reason I say this, I say it for many reasons, but the reason I say this is because it's something that's easy. It's easy. There's nothing hard about it. There's nothing difficult. And it's fun. It's fun and it's colors and guys, isn't this great? Everybody has their color represented. Now, welcome guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Sunday. I look kind of crappy, but hey, this is what it is, and this is what you're gonna have to deal with today, because this is what it is today. So hold on, let me. Actually, you're right. I do look really crappy. I should fix myself. I shouldn't give you guys low quality a mirror. I should try to look better, but I'm wearing too much makeup today. I was in the mood. I was in the mood to actually look nice. That's why I was like, okay, I'm going to put on this beautiful makeups and I'm going to do this, and I'm wearing too much. Lovely. Now I look like one of those clowns that I just showed. Great. In all efforts to not be one of them. I guess if you can't beat them, join them. I guess I'm joining them too. I don't know what to do. Let me take some of this lipstick off. Give me a second. In all efforts to not look like them, I start looking like them. Lovely. One sec, let me get some. Let me get the papers. Let's see if this works. Let's see how this looks. You get back up here. All right. I also feel strange for not wearing my. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. But there's still a lot of color there. Oh well. It is what it is. I'm doing my best, guys. Trying my best. Hola. For real. I like trying to get up on stuff and my bones cracking. I'm like crack. Oh, what is going on? Oh my god. Keela says it's much better. Yeah, I feel a lot better. I don't feel like a complete clown now. But yes, less is more, ladies. Thank you. A word of the wise. I think that's a lot better. There's still tint, but at least it's not like overwhelming makeups like in your face. All right then. All right. So now let me see. What was I telling you guys? Right. the picture that I showed you guys is a drag queen, I'm assuming, making a show for the Pride nonsense, what have you. And the reason I saw that picture, and that picture to me screamed the icon, the mascot of liberalism. Because when I saw that, I was like, this is what they want. This is the dream right here. The dream is to be having fun all your life. You don't have to be bogged down with traditions and rules and limitations, and you can just live your childhood dream until eternity. This is the reason why I started pondering about this, and I said, you know what? It does look like running from any kind of standards, because you've noticed the people who actually have standards, the people who say, hell to the no, we are not going to let ourselves be this, and this, because we want a better future for ourselves. The people who actually have standards, they look at them and call them names like bigot, because you have a standard for yourself. You have a standard for your family. You have rules and regulations. Tradition is hard. Tradition is difficult, and it's strict, and at times it can be annoying to follow. Trust me, I feel that too. I mean, I come from a very strict family where it was always about this. You have to do this. When the elders come in, you have to do this, and you have to bow, and you have to shut up when other people are talking, because this is tradition. You don't understand why it's so. A lot of us, we don't understand why, but we do it. And then you get older, and then you're like, that's why the tradition is the way it is, because you start understanding things as you get older. And now you realize why you were told to shut up when you were a kid and listen instead of talking. That's why you were told you can't go outside with your boobs hanging out. You can't go outside with your ass hanging out. Ass is in donkey, not the curse word. You can't go outside with your donkey hanging out. Yeah, donkeys hanging out should be illegal. So this is the reason why we weren't allowed to do it. And now we realize as we mature, we're like, you know what, that makes sense. Because then you see the people who weren't with the rules, the people who didn't have to follow anything, the people who didn't have any standard, then you see how they fail in life, and you see how they fail in marriages and relationships. You see how they fail. Their whole lives crumbling around them. When I say this, I mean, I've seen a lot of people who decide to go the more liberal way. They get older. They have children. They raise their children the more liberal way. Their children rebel more than, and when I say rebel, I mean their children end up falling into circles and things that, and the parents just stick by them and say, you know what, this is a part of life. This is great. You're learning. You're having a learning experience. I don't know. Because I've also seen the opposite. Like a lot of people who say, oh, I've seen Christians who are too strict on their children, and the children rebel because they can't talk to the parents, and so on and so forth. There's always going to be a select few, and that's called natural selection. That has nothing to do with the family being strict, in my opinion. I believe that's natural selection. That's natural selection, weeding out the ones that are stupid, who want to run around and rebel. Those are the ones that go first. I don't believe that parents should change just because kids rebel. If the child rebels, eventually they will come back. And if they don't come back, well then. But we're going to say, let's not have standards because children don't like it. Let's not have standards because children run away. Let's not make rules all because we're scared of the reaction of the child. What is this life? Anyway. I hope I'm not ranting. I hope you guys are following along with me, because I know sometimes I get into this mindset, and I know a lot of you may not be in the same mindset as me at the moment. So I just want to make sure you guys are following along, okay? You can always put in the chat. Maybe we need a code word for when people aren't following along. I don't know. Maybe put question marks if you guys are, if I'm losing you. Start putting question marks, just spamming question marks. Then I can know that I've lost a few of you. But that's what I'm thinking right now. It's not tradition to rebel, but that's what happens. Quantum. That's what's said to every Christian family that's strict. You be strict to your child. They're not going to come to you when they have a problem because they're going to be so scared of your reaction. You're too strict with your Christian child. They're going to run off and be undercover gay because they don't want to tell you, but they're still going to be doing it behind the closed doors. Yeah. You keep that crap behind the closed doors. That's where it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be out in the open because you're doing wrong. I guess maybe I'm just from a different ilk. Maybe I'm just from a different time. Maybe I'm born in the wrong time. Because from what I know, there are things that should be shameful. There are things that you should be ashamed about. And those kind of things, you should be ashamed about them. You should not want that to be seen because it's wrong. It's like a drug addict who's like out in the open saying, oh my gosh, guys, I'm a drug addict. You should be ashamed. You should feel bad. And you should search for help. Get help for it, but not like say, oh, I'm addicted to drugs now, everybody should like embrace me for my drug addiction. You need to embrace me because I have a sickness. It's something I can't control. So now we should all embrace it and promote it to children as just another lifestyle, another way of living. Maybe I'm wrong. Mr. Renegade says we definitely need to bring back shame. You can't be shamed anymore. You can't say anything to people. And I know that already. We've already spoken about that. Thomas, I miss the good old days when the only problem children were the Breakfast Club students. Oh, the only problem children were the Breakfast Club students in Saturday detention. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what the Breakfast Club is, but thank you. I'm sure someone understood that. Mortician says freedom creates chaos. Freedom creates chaos, order and structure creates beauty. Oh, I see what you're saying. The comma, the freedom creates chaos, order and structure creates beauty. See, what they will say is the opposite. They will say when people are allowed to be free, this is when we get the most inventions, we get the most creativity, we get the most, so on and so forth. Smoke a little weed. I'm not saying that weed is the issue. I'm saying that this is the opposite argument from them. They think that allowing things to just be chaotic is what leads to beauty, because most inventions were made by accident, right? That's their mindset. Just like most things come by accident. Most of the beautiful things that we have now came by accident. I don't know. Frost says weed is good. Go to the naughty corner. It's Sunday, sir. It's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. Get it together. The movie Kids in Detention. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Movie of Kids in Detention. I'll check it out. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it. Do you guys ever, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys ever look at me and see me translating things in my head to English? Because someone, well, at the office, we were talking, yeah, and someone was speaking to me about, some case. I can't tell you what it is, but they were speaking to me about a case that we had. And when they were speaking to me, as they were speaking to me, they looked at me and said, did you just translate that in your head when I told you what I just told you? And I said, yes, actually, because people don't know that non-native English speakers, non-English native speakers, a lot of times we think in a different language. So people don't consider that we're thinking a lot of times in different languages than what you're speaking. So sometimes it'll take a minute for us to, especially if it's a word that we're not common to hear, we'll like translate it into our head to make it make sense and then come back to English and then respond. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Yes, and it's funny. Thanks, Clue. It's funny to see me struggle mentally, huh? Thanks. Awesome. Thomas, or Zelich, sorry. My main critique is, what does this really accomplish? They really believe this is freedom, really helps them. They really believe this freedom really helps them, enabling mental illness to go unchecked. I want to say something in a second. I'm just going to read your comments first. Suka says some languages ordered the words backward. Exactly. English is one of the few languages that puts the adjective, I think that's the word you say, the descriptor in front of the thing. Like, example, I have a red car. Now, in other languages, in most other languages, we will say, car I have red, or I have car red. But most of us say car I have red, or we will say, I have red, or I have car red. So in English is one of the few languages that puts the descriptor of the thing before the thing. So yes, you're right. A lot of times things will be backwards. The whole sentence, the grammatical structure of the sentence will be, yeah. And I've noticed that a lot of American speakers, a lot of English speakers have a hard time doing that in other languages. So they'll go to another language and try to speak as if it were English by putting the adjective before the object and all that. And that's how you know a person is an American, or not American, an English speaker, because you're like, yeah. For us, it sounds crazy, because to us, it sounds like when you said I have a red car, it makes it seem like the red is the car. I don't know how that makes sense. For us, it seems like the red is a car, not the car is red. We feel like you're saying the red is a car. So we're like, can the red be anything else other than a car? Can the red be an apple too? Or does the red always have to be a car? This is how I give you guys. So yeah, if you guys don't speak other languages or you don't know, that's the way it is. It's backwards. BTK says, you didn't blink. Wait, oh, you mean when I'm translating something in my head? Yeah, probably I don't blink. Because I probably like, the eyes like twitchy, and I'm like, what? But yeah, I get it. That's why they say a lot of people who are multilingual, that they're smart. But I don't believe I'm smarter than anyone just because I speak four languages. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone. I just think I know how to sound stupid in 4 languages. That's all it is. Like, it doesn't make me smarter just because I can speak another person's language. It just makes me know how to sound stupid in different languages. Priyo says, yes, I know, I speak a few. I speak a few. See? Thomas says, in Europe, addresses are done as street name, then street number. Example being Liberalism 47, as opposed to 123 Main. I see. See, that would be confusing to me. Like, putting the street first and then the thing. I don't know. The reason I think it's confusing is because when you put the number first, you know what number the street is going to be on. You know what I mean? But if you put the name first, then you need to figure out the number after it. Anyway. Maldito seas. Maldito seas. English is the best language, period. Other languages are primitive. Should I? Do you guys want to? Okay. This person says English is the best language. English, is not something on its own island that it didn't just become and it just became by itself. English, of course, took from most languages. Like, there's so much Arabic in English, there's so much Spanish in English, there's so much German in English, there's a lot of Latin. When I say Spanish, I guess we could say Latin roots. There's, English is not by itself in its own island. So if every other language is primitive, then that means English would be primitive too, no? Because English was born from other languages. So that's funny. But BTK says, I didn't speak English until 5th grade. I practiced using 3 language, 1 spoken to, translate to, and a second, answer in 3rd. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm already lost. Actually, English is primitive. English is one of those languages that English, if you talk to the regular English speaker, a person who doesn't know, there's different levels to English, right? There's like basic levels, basic street levels, and all of that. But in other languages, there's really only a respect level and a non-respect level in other languages. In English, they have different, levels of intelligence, right? So a lot of people use bigger words and bigger descriptions. This is why you have a thesaurus. Thesaurus gives you different ways to say the same word. In other languages, different words, like the thesaurus words, are always used constantly. So they're not just used by the upper class or the people who are intelligent. You're used by everyone. Everyone can use 5 words to describe one thing. In English, however, I've noticed if you want to describe something, one thing or one word or one adjective, and you want to use 5 different words to describe it, you're going to have to be a person who's been to the university, who has studied English, and so on and so forth, because there's not that many descriptors for one thing in English unless you use higher English, which is like using bigger words and all that, words that are not common. But in other languages, it's common to use so many different words to describe one thing. So maybe it's because our languages are older, so we have so many ways to describe things than English. I don't know. I don't know why that is. And that proves my point. It takes from the best from every other language. You don't know what is the best of every other language. Just stop. Just relax. It's just a language, okay? It's a language. It's a form of talking. It's not that big of a deal. And to say that it takes the best out of every language, I mean, what is the best out of every language? You don't know. You don't know what would be the best or what would be the worst. I don't understand how a descriptor can be best or worst. I don't know. But nonetheless, hi, Samuel. Welcome in. John says, no one spoke English until the Europeans came to this country in the 1600s. English took over the world, not because it's a superior language, but solely because English was the language of the people who were dominating the world. The British Empire took over parts of Africa, India, and everything, right? British Empire was everywhere at one point. And then the American Empire, I call it the American Empire, because Americans are just going around putting their flag on everything and saying, this is American territory now. So I think because of that, and because of business being usually associated with Western countries, this is why English became the language of business, not because it's a superior language. English is, it's one of those ugly languages. English is not a very pretty language when you compare it to other languages that are romantic or beautiful, or they just are, to the ears, they sound harmonious. English is not one of those languages, guys. I'm sorry to say that. English is not a beautiful language. It's functional. So, Z-Pass, you're here. Hi, Z-Pass. How are you? Guys, our neighborhood socialist is here. Z-Pass is a friend here, so welcome, Z-Pass. All right, so the thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was this. When I was doing my thinkings, as I normally do, I was thinking about tradition, and I was thinking about how hard it is for my family, our families, to live the way that we live. The rules that we have, most people could not live under. Do you guys understand that our rules in our culture are, most people cannot handle them? Let's just say that, because it's too strenuous, and there's too much backlash if you don't follow the rules. There's just too much. Not many people can handle it. So, example, I'll give you an example. When it comes to respect of your elders, respect of the people coming to visit your home, because family is always over, or friends and family and colleagues of work or what have you are always coming over. So when it comes to that, I had a friend with me. She was from school. My friend came over, my best friend, my ex-best friend now, but anyway, she was my best friend at the time. She came to my home and we were having a barbecue in our backyard. So in the backyard, we were all sitting. We had these beautiful tents around, and there was a place where everyone could sit. There were sofas. We're all sitting. Why am I doing a story time? This is story time, guys. Whatever. So, right. So we were all sitting down on the white sofas, beautiful, having a great time eating. We had catering who was serving us. So they were serving us all these beautiful fruits and meats and what have you. My friend was with me. We were talking, and every time someone came into the backyard foyer area, I don't know how you could call it, but we have a greeting area there, and we would stand up. Everybody stands up to greet the person. Everybody, no matter who, everybody stands. So this is something that we do. My friend got tired of standing at one point. So when, like, let's say my uncles came or somebody, she would just sit and she's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, okay. Because she was eating. So she said, I'm eating. I'm not going to keep standing for everyone. My family, a lot of my family said, do not invite her back. I'm like, if she's American, she doesn't know. They're like, we don't care. Don't invite her back, because you should have told her what to do. And I said, I did tell her, but she didn't, and this is something that is almost like it's seen as rude, completely rude, and you didn't stand for everyone. So I did invite her back with the permission of my family, but I had to beg them just to let her back, and I promised that I would have kept her. Another thing would be bowing to our elders. A lot of times what we'll do is, you see an elder. This is typical in men mostly, but women do it too. A young man will grab the hand of the older man, kiss his ring, kiss the ring, and put to the forehead. And that's it. That's how you salute with respect to the elders. They don't even have to stand. The elders don't have to stand when you come in. You have to stand when they come in. Does that make sense? This is the hierarchy that we are trained under. This is something that we're born knowing how to do. And it's just ingrained, right? People who don't do that, or people who are like these liberal types who are like, no, I mean, just, you're a human too. You poop just like I poop. Your poop smells just like mine. Why do I have to greet you a certain way? We're all equals here. This cannot be a thing. And this is because we have tradition, we have culture, we have honor, respect. We have things there's a hierarchy. And when you see a lot of the liberal types, and I just gave you an example just in mind. I'm sure there's other examples in American culture that you guys can cite, but in my own culture, these are my experiences. These people, they don't want to be told that they are under anyone, that you are under them in respect factor or in honor or what have you. They don't want to be told that they're under anyone. They don't want to acknowledge that someone may be. Anyway, this is what I see with the left, what I see with the whole, liberalism. I know that traditions are hard. I know that it's difficult and it's strict. I know that people don't like it. But the other way to live is this way, to live where everybody's equal and everybody's the same and there's no respect factor for anyone. We just all treat each other as if we're all the same age. We're all just going to act like that. And I don't believe that type of culture is going to be a culture that is respectable in the future generations. I believe that this type of way of living will only create a lot of entitled people, a lot of people who think that they are something when they're not, because reaching a certain age in our culture is something to be respectful over. You reach the age of maturity. You've reached the age of 50, 60, 70. This is something that we bow to. We bow our heads to. We kiss the ring. We show respect to that. And I was at the store the other day. I was at the market, and there was a woman, an older woman at the cashier. She was at least, I would say, around 57, 60. And that's not old, but she looked very frail. So maybe she was more than that. Maybe she was 70. but she looked very frail. And her as a cashier, even at her age, I mean, at her position in life that she's a cashier, I still saw her differently, right? But the lady in front of me was a young woman, and she was speaking to this lady so disrespectfully. She's like telling her, like, she's like, oh, can you hurry up, because I need to go. And the lady, she's kind of like frail and a little bit shaky and everything, and she's trying, but she has her own limitations. So this lady was just, and it was just very rude to see. And all I did was ask the lady, I said, can you show some reverence for her? Like, you're speaking to her as if, And the lady, she looks to me and she says something. I don't even remember what she said, because at this point I was raging in my head, like, but she turns to me and says, like, well, she shouldn't be working here. If she can't do the job, then she shouldn't be working here. I mean, I don't know. I see this very bad. And maybe a lot of you in the chat, maybe a lot of you disagree with me. Maybe you guys believe that there's nothing wrong with checking your elders or letting them know that just because they're old and they make it to old age doesn't mean that they have something over you, or that doesn't mean that they're better than you, or you have to respect them. Respect is earned, not given, and all this. I've seen this a lot in America, where like respect is earned, and and it's like, no, respect is something that you do. You do to that. You have the choice if you want to respect someone. And if you feel like every person has to earn your respect by doing something for you in order for you to respect them, then I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Amira has not seen Reddit stories. I don't know what you mean. What a Karen. Aren't Karens supposed to be white? Or can it be any color? Because this woman wasn't. Did she have the haircut? She did not. She did not. Takes respect to get respect. I think that's sorry, Keela. I think that's very much not a good way to live by. I believe you respecting someone comes from you. And unless someone outright, is very disrespectful or rude, or you just know something about them, that's understandable. But just to go to every person and say, you have to give me respect for me to give you respect, it's I don't know the word for it. I don't know. Without them, you wouldn't have existed. And that's the thing. And we call it la vieja escuela in Spanish. In Arabic, we call it, I'm not going to say, but because you guys are going to criticize, but there is a different, we call it old school. That's the old school. You don't know anything. How much, to the older people in the chat, people over 40, all my 40s and ups in the chat. Do you think that you know the same thing now that you knew when you were 25, 30? How about 20? How about, who's the youngest person in here? Shadow? Shadow is 19. What do you think when my 40s and ups? How do you look at a person who's 25, 30, or a person who's 19? You don't look at them the same way that they look at themselves. They believe that they take themselves so seriously, like I'm so good and I'm so this. That's why I say, like, why do we think that we're so equal? Everybody's equal. And it's like, it does make a difference how much time you're here. It makes a difference. Experiences help, but it does make a difference, because these people have been through changes in their own selves that they never knew that they would have, and they've been through it, things that we haven't been through yet. Us as younger people, we don't know what's ahead. They already have seen it. So this is the reason why I say that it is it's important to show some reverence. Like, I'm not saying you have to lick the jack in the cracks of them. I'm not saying they have to lick jack in the cracks, but showing some reverence and respecting and showing that respect. I mean, it's just something that's missing here. The other thing, remember, okay, so in the title, I told you guys that tradition is hard and strict, liberalism is easy and fun. The left that I see, the left that I see, the left that we're always talking about, because there is a decent left and then, well, semi-decent, because they still want to tax the crap out of you. Nonetheless, there's a semi-decent left, and then there's the batshit crazy left. I'm sorry for saying it that way, but that's the way it came to my head. I am so sorry about that, but that is the way it came to my head. But so there's a semi-decent one and that. The one that I'm talking about, the left that I'm talking about, the one that's most prevalent in liberal cities, this left, what I see when I see them always promoting these type of things, you know what I've noticed? They're always promoting towards children. They're always aiming to attract the attention of children. What adult do you know needs rainbow colors in order to pay attention? What adult do you know needs a bunch of songs and dance and colors and flags and all this in order to want to be a part of something? Because from what I know, that is something that we do to attract children's attention, to attract their loyalty, to reward them, and we reward them by giving them treats and colors and fun, and we discipline them or punish them by taking away the treats, the color, and the fun. So it's almost as if it's a reward system of the left. It's like a reward system. You are rewarded just for being. You are rewarded just for being strange or weird, and they're encouraging that to get the rewards, right? If you want all the colors and the fun, you have to be a part of this group. Because if you're not a part of this group and you're a part of the streets, then you're not going to get all these colors and fun and you know. Tradition, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Oh, before, I do want us to go through the list because Larry did say that he sent a list to take advantage. And that's the reason why I said that the whole colors, all the colors and stuff, this is the reason why. And they make it look fun and it's easy. Another thing about that, of the fun and the easy part, do you guys remember we were talking about fun and easy, how liberalism is fun and easy? The other thing about it being fun and easy is the lack of accountability. There's a lack of accountability on the left, and it is prevalent in women and sexuality. So in women, it is you can abort children at whatever stage, and of course there's a lack. And so I say liberalism is easy and fun because we all know that on the right we don't believe in that, which is tradition and strict. Nobody wants to live by that. Nobody wants to be told, no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot murder when you want. Because if the man were to kick you in the stomach while you were pregnant, he would go to jail for double, like attempted murder, or if you died and the baby died, it could be a double homicide. But if you do it, then, oh, it's okay. If you kill the baby, oh, that's strong and brave. This is what I say. The accountability, the lack of the accountability, of course, and men are constantly, and this is what I don't want to do this, guys. I'm not going to do this. I'm not saying that men are saints, of course, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is men get more accountability than women, and we already know that. But like I said, on the left, it's rampant. And the other thing about accountability and the left and being liberal and fun and easy is not being able to say anything, not being able to shame, not being able to criticize. And that's another thing that I'm saying, because on the right, there's criticism, there's shame. Nobody likes to be shamed. Nobody likes to be criticized. We want to do whatever the F we want to do and not have to hear about it tomorrow, right? Isn't that what we want to do? So what side will you go to if you want fun and easy versus hard and strict? Which side are you going to choose? The left is the side of the mentally ill, in my opinion. The left is the side of the people who don't want to grow up, who want to live in perpetual childhood, in my opinion. The left is the side of murderers and rapists and racists, in my opinion, in Minecraft. The right, it may have perversions. There may be perversions in the church. There may be divorces that happen. Some people do even get abortions while being conservatives or being on the right. But one thing that we don't do is we don't embrace that. We don't embrace it. And we don't say you can't be shamed for it. So this is the reason why this side is so heavy and hard. And the easy side, the fun side, seems so attractive. But I do really think that the left is full of the mentally ill, the people who don't want to grow up, who want to live in perpetual childhood, the murderers of babies, the perverts of children, the majority of them, the ones that are out in the open, I would say. That's your left. And then the right is, I feel better now. I feel so much better. Thank you guys for staying with me for this conversation. I appreciate it because I really feel better. Make slut shaming great again. It's right. It's an discriminative. Oh, like, is that like? I don't think I've ever heard that word, but is that like not putting criminals in jail? I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. Jay says that's an interesting point. They do consider that double homicide when it's the other way around. But that's because men are always held accountable. Women cannot be held accountable. Men kill a baby in the womb, they're going to jail. Woman kills a baby in the womb, she's applauded. Brave, strong. She did what was best. Maybe that man did what's best when he kicked her in the stomach too. Maybe he did what was best for his future, but he's going to jail. While she, okay. For the woman, it's the thing that's best. If a man does it, if a man makes an abortion happen, maybe it was the best thing for his life. We didn't know, but no. Last call said, oh, you're saying, okay. I don't have visions, guys. I promise I don't have visions. PDF files. Don't say this word. If you guys are going to say this word in the chat, I prefer you to spell it a different way or say just use the term PDF instead, because you guys know that, YouTube watches the chats and stuff, and sometimes certain words will trigger, certain actions. So please try to spell them a different way. Oh, it means to discriminate? Oh, duh. Why didn't I figure that out? Hi, GB. I'm good. I just got finished with a rant. Now I'm feeling better. It was almost therapeutic for me. It was a rant, not a convo. Well, it's going to be a convo in a second because I'm going to put the link in the chat. All right. So, yeah, it is dumb that you can't say that, but we all know how censorship is today. Okay. What I'm going to do is pull up the list of the news right now, and I'll share it with you, and then we can move on to the to putting the link in the chat, so then we can, yeah. Okay. Here we go. In the news. Oof. No. Wait, this is not, okay. Sorry, guys. I didn't update my thingy. Okay, I just updated it now. Oh, no. Oh, no. Do you guys remember that cat? Here, wait. I'm going to show it to you. Because I'm going to show you this is me right now. I'm going to show you guys how I feel right now. Wait. You guys are going to see it because Larry always does this to me. So this is my response right now. Here. No, 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 no. Larry, this is me right now. If I was an animal, that would be me right now. No, 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 no. Then you clear your mouth again just to keep going. You go, no, 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 no. All right. So, um, mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. This list is all right. So let's get to it. I'm not doing anything by sitting here staring at it. I guess we'll start with the LGBT news, as always. All right, here we go. In the news, a 16-year-old named Ash Eskridge has taken steps to detransition her body after detransitioning her mind from LGBTQIA plus question mark dollar sign stars, airplanes, and balloons programming. Ash cited TikTok as the cause of her now former status as a transsexual individual, accusing the platform of convincing Ash that she was trans at 13 years old. Ash suffered from depression at the tender age of 12 and turned to the platform for solace. A December 2022 study by the Center for Countering Digital Hate Support. How is that even a thing? Countering Digital Hate Support. Digital hate. What is digital hate? I mean, I know what their idea of digital hate is, but let's go back to the article. So, Ash suffered from depression at the tender age of 12 and turned to the platform for solace. A December 2022 study by the Center for Countering Digital Hate Support, Ash's claim of brainwashing, revealing that TikTok's algorithm instantly floods teens with videos on self-deletion and eating disorders within minutes of them signing up. So this December 2022 study found that TikTok's algorithm instantly floods teens with videos of self-deletion and eating disorders within minutes of them signing up. After taking testosterone at 16 years old, Ash experienced effects that she was left feeling unnatural. Of course it's unnatural. Ash, if I would have been your mother, I would have let you know it's very unnatural. There's nothing natural about it. But anyway, at 16, when she started taking testosterone, she experienced effects saying that she felt unnatural, such as her voice deepening and body hair getting thicker and more prevalent. Of course. And these effects will not be reversed. The voice deepening does not reverse because each teenager goes through the voice change in the, around 13, 14, I guess. Women's voices become a little bit, higher, I guess, and then men's voices deepen extremely low. Well, for most of them anyway. And then she started having body hair be more prevalent and thicker. She ultimately chose to detransition after dreaming that she is a girl. Do you guys see how easy it is to get children to make decisions, right? This child made a decision first because of TikTok, and then she made another decision because of a dream. And these are the people that they're saying are stable enough to pick what they want to be and what they want to do with their lives. When your decisions can be made from a dream or watching a video on TikTok. I have a question for you all, and I want to ask it to you after I finish this article. So she ultimately chose to detransition after dreaming that she is a girl and receiving support to detransition from her parents. These same parents, initially supported her transformation. Her transformation also led to drug use, self-harm, and suicidal ideas because Ash felt that she wasn't boy enough, she wasn't man enough, she wasn't male enough. She declared support for the trans community, but affirmed her status as a real girl. I'm a real girl. But she confirmed her status as a real girl, biologically and mentally. My question to you all is, if so, these people right here, wait, I want to go back to the article because I want to ask this question properly. These people online, when you see online that we can't say certain words, let me ask you all, does this make sense to you that we can't say things like suicide? Why are words like suicide, homicide, mental retardation, things like these, why are these words that we're no longer allowed to say? My question is it that people who are so weak-minded that they hear the word suicide and all of a sudden they're just like, suicide? Did you say suicide? Let me go off myself now. I've never seen anyone hear the word suicide and then go run to go do it just because they heard the word. Do you know what I mean? YouTube is making us stop saying words just because it's a real thing that happens. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. Do you? I'm not. I wouldn't do such a thing. I don't. Psychologism, virtual signaling, because we are only to think positive, as if negative things don't exist in the world. And weed can, okay, weed can also disrupt brain development if you're under 25. Well, I think any drug can, can't it? There's many things that can mess up your brain development before, if it's not done developing. A lot of us, especially in our cultures, like different cultures, don't consider you an adult until you're of higher age. Like, even though a lot of us get married early, we get married younger in our cultures, we're still not considered adults. We're just married. That's it. Does that make sense? Like, in our cultures, you can get married at 17. However, we're still not considered adults because our parents know that our brains aren't fully there yet. So that's why they're always around. This is why a lot of us still live with our parents up until, we save money to get another house. So Americans, I've seen Americans, the child is 18 and they're just like, okay, you're legally responsible for your stuff now, get out. But most kids fail. I understand for boys trying to kick them out because you're trying to get them to toughen up and to know what responsibility is and so on and so forth. However, I really don't know what the best way is. I don't know which is the best way because I've seen some issues in our culture by keeping the men in the house, even though they're over 18, keeping them in the house. It's not that we keep them in the house to baby them. Typically, if they're still home, it's because they're contributing to the house. They're paying, part of the rent or paying for the food, or they are taking care of the women folk when the older men are maybe out working or what have you. They're still taking care of the women folk and the children. But then on the other side, I've seen boys, American boys or Western boys who get kicked out at the tender age of 18, get told, time for you to be a man, go out. You go from being a little boy to your parents, your parents one day saying, you're a kid, you do what I say, you live in my house, it's under my rules. And then 18, it's like, oh, you're an adult now, go outside and we'll figure it out. So I really don't know which way is the best way, because when I look at the success rate of men, when I look at the success rate of women, I see that in our cultures, when you're allowed to stay home and slowly go into adulthood, not be pushed out at 18, but you're allowed to slowly grow up under the supervision of your parents and the family, it seems that they have a better success rate because they end up going through school from home. They end up getting their doctors, getting their education, higher education. If they're not doing higher education, then they'll start working with the men of the family, which a lot of us have businesses. A lot of us own restaurants, gas stations, construction companies, restaurants. All we own a lot of things like Arabs, Middle Easterners, what have you. We have a lot of businesses. So typically, the boy will start growing up slowly and into this. Why did I get onto this topic? I think it's because we're talking about this girl, her being young and the decisions that she made on a whim. So, but yeah, I don't mean to go off topic, guys. I'm sorry. Schizo says, yes, it does. BTK says, Amira, Dr. Keela had some medical news you just missed. Oh, God. Is it from the strip club, Keela? Because if it's from the strip club, I don't need to know that medical news. I don't need to know what kind of gynecology that you've done to the strippers, okay? I don't need to know about the gynecologist's office at the strip club. I really, it's Sunday, Keela. It's Sunday. Show some respect. Keela says, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. Been weary about documentary. I don't know what you're saying. Here, wait. Let me see if it's... I don't see anything, Keela. No. Whoever said that he had something... I don't see anything. Oh, I see. Keela says, so this lady got her hand burnt to the 3rd degree and they graft from her growing to fix her hand. And now she has pubes growing on her hand. Our next story in the news, LGBT news yet again. Having a rough Sunday here, guys. In the news, 6,000 Methodist congregations have voted to leave the have voted to leave the denomination due to LGBTQIA plus stars, money signs, dollar sign, airplanes, crystals. They are threatening to leave the denomination due to the influx of rainbow flags and hey coming in. While the denomination widely forbids same-sex marriages and ordination of homosexuals, many churches within it have performed those marriages and ordained gay preachers. Many churches within it have performed gay marriages and ordained gay preachers, promoting 1/5 of the participating congregations to leave in protest of these actions. Some of these so-called conservative congregations plan to maintain and enforce bans on gay ministers and same-sex marriages, whilst others are looking to join other denominations because the Methodists are being taken over by the rainbow flag. The rainbow flag people's response to this action was to accuse the departing churches of a double standard by allowing them to attend the churches but refuse to allow them to be married by those churches. So they're saying it's a double standard to allow them to attend the church if you will not marry them in the church. No. There's a difference between a person coming to the church in sin versus the preacher, pastor, leader of that church marrying them in sin. There is a difference between sinners coming to the church and the church promoting sin. There's a huge difference. So I don't understand how that correlation, that's not even a correlation. The math is not mathing. These numbers do not equal one another. Just because you're allowed to attend the church doesn't mean that then the church has to. These people are a mafia. This is a mafia. Don't you guys see that? This is a mafia. They're like, oh, if you allow us to attend, that means you need to marry us. Or this is a double standard. Christians, get it together, Christians. Get it together. Because these people, I would say, don't even allow them in the church. Once you find out that they are of that lifestyle, out. Because they're going to bring nothing but trouble to your people, your congregation. Nothing but sin comes out of this. And I don't understand why they allow them in. I do understand that, Christians are like, come one, come all. These people have come way too many times. They need to not be there. Let's just say that. They don't need to be there. And I'm not saying that you can't just stand at the door, have a security at the door, like looking, who's the gay one in the crowd? Who's gay? And I'm going to point you out. There's not every gay person is walking around flamboyantly gay. Not every gay is like, hey, oh my God, yes, go girl. Or what is the thing that gay people say? Yes, queen. Yes. Yes. Not every gay person is walking around like that. So I would say the way that you would find out that the person is gay eventually you're going to figure it out, or somebody in the congregation is going to figure it out. And that's when you don't allow the person back. Because then they're going to start asking for certain rights and privileges and all of this. And this is when you say, get the F out. No, you shouldn't have been here in the first place. We allowed you to listen to the sermon. We allowed you to listen. We allowed you to praise and worship. Now it's time for you. You have overstayed your welcome. Get out. Christians, I'm telling you, you guys can take a lesson from the Muslims. Okay? Don't be afraid. Protect your people, protect your congregation, protect your sheep, because that is, woo! Okay. Sukkah says repent. Go and sin no more, please. And it is Sunday, guys. Okay? It is Sunday. No matter thy sex, race, or creed, call thy name and I shall answer. We must at least try to help. You can help all you want, but marrying them in sin is not what the church should do. In the Bible, it says in the Bible itself, in plain English, this is an abomination in the Bible. So why would we then open the Bible to marry gay people? I don't understand that. You open the book that tells you to not do that, and then you do it. That's you can help them all you want. You can give them counseling. You can let them listen to the sermons. Let them see what it is, or what it isn't. But one thing you don't do is sin yourself just to try to help these people. You don't. And any marriage that is under this circumstances is doomed, is damned. It's condemned. Because you're already committing an abomination just from the deed of doing that. There is no blessing to that. There is no blessing for anal sex. There is no blessing in that. What are we doing? What is the blessing in bending over another man? Okay? Doing what you guys know they do. Where is the blessing in that? Where is the... I'm not gonna... Next story. Let's move on. Because anti-LGBTQIA protesters in Tbilisi, Georgia, descended on a pride parade on Saturday and proceeded to destroy everything in sight. The protesters, which included members of the Orthodox Christian clergy, scuffled with police, tore down an LGBTQ float, they burned the pride flags, they vandalized the stages, set fires, and looted the event's bar. Event organizers and the president of Georgia blamed anti-LGBTQ hate speech. He blamed these people for anti-LGBTQ hate speech that reportedly preceded the event and accused the police of failing to protect the gays. President Salome Zurabishvili, I'm sorry guys, it's a weird name. Let's just say Salmon. President Salmon blamed the Georgian ruling Dream Party for the protest, accusing them of a failure to condemn their followers, who is reported to have openly displayed aggression towards the LGBTQIA plus $star airplanes activists. So thank you, Larry, for giving me some good news at the end so I wouldn't stroke out. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I am happy to hear that at least somebody in Georgia is getting it done. They would do the same thing to our parades. Let's have a parade tomorrow. Let's have a Christian parade, a parade supporting religion. Let's have a parade supporting lives of children, lives of babies. Let's have a parade supporting being straight. Anything that we would do, they would do the same thing. They would come to our events. What's it called? Antifa. They would put on black masks on their heads, ski mask and all of that. And they would come there and try to intimidate us. So if we do the same thing back to them that they do to us, we're hateful. Straight pride. Larry says, I knew you like that. I don't see anything wrong with it. Hold on, guys. Once. Keela, imagine having a purity parade, virgin card only parade. Oh my gosh. Do you know the amount of head explosions that will happen on the left? Oh my God. They're promoting virginity and purity, sexual purity. Ah. We give an award to the oldest virgin in the house, right? Who's the oldest virgin in the house? You get an award. But anything past 35, I think you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be awarded for that because you should be married by then at least. No. That would be an awesome parade, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? And it would keep all of the creeps out, that's for sure. I mean, when I say creeps, I mean the gay flag, stuff like that, you know. Keep all that out at least. Georgia is base, it says. I hear a video game in the background. It's not a video game. It's my alarm. Okay. So I am going to put the link in the chat. So whoever wants to join me can do so. Mods, please post a link whenever you remember to do so. What time is it? Oh, wow. We've already been on for an hour? Has it really been? What? It's been over an hour. Oh, goodness. The time just flies by when I'm here with you guys. Time really flies when we're here. So, I'm just reading your chats. You guys something's wrong with all of you. I'm serious. Something's wrong with all of you. You guys, it is Sunday. I know, who am I to talk? Because I've been a little vulgar today too. So I guess I'm the one to talk. But guys, get it together. Oh, traditionalist pride, says Mortician. Oh man. You see? The last call says, what shall we say then? Shall we go on sinning so that grace may increase? That's a real Bible verse? I didn't know that. Fion says, Zillich, she responded to Zillich, cast not your pearls before swine, or they will turn and tear you to pieces. Because Christians lost the church the same way that Americans lost the government. That's Jason. That's not very nice. I hope it's not true. I really do hope that's not true. That's yeah. Larry says, bending a man over gets you a okay. Okay. Go to naughty corner. Larry, naughty corner. Naughty corner. Now. 2 minutes. Ozzy says, how to marry a woman with her V card when they all give it away at 14. Is that the age? 14? Girls are doing that at 14? Huh.
It's younger and younger every year.
What do you mean?
I mean,
How do you know that?
Because you hear stories about that, about kids as young as 12, maybe 6th grade, showing up at the nurse's office with STDs and stuff.
But that could probably be from being...
It could be, but when it's like running through the school, then it's probably not. It's probably kids engaging in these activities themselves.
Through a middle school?
Yeah.
14 is middle school, isn't it? No, 14 is ninth grade, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that depends on where you are in the country, but yeah, sometimes it's middle school, sometimes it's the first year of high school.
I can't even imagine getting an STD, nevertheless being a child and
Well, that's the thing is if you spend all of your time in and around people who are, promiscuous at the very first time you try it, you could probably end up with something.
Larry, I told you to go to the naughty corner. You shouldn't be commenting for 2 minutes. Oh my gosh.
That reminds me of a terrible joke, but I won't tell it here.
Do it. Do it. Larry, I told Keela to go too. Don't compare yourself to Keela, Larry, because listen, Keela, both of you guys go. Grab hands and go together. Say it, Samuel.
How do you get HIV from a toilet seat? You sit down before the other guy has a chance to stand up.
But you sit down before the other guy has a chance to stand.
I told you it was a bad joke.
Go to the naughty corner, Samuel. All 1 minute. 1 full minute. Sorry, and don't even come back before 60 seconds. Don't say sorry. He's not sorry, guys. He said sorry, but he's not. 60 full seconds. I'm counting it right now, Larry. I mean, Samuel. Both of you guys are bad today. Both of you. You see, you know how some parents, when they have kids, they start calling the kids by different names. Like they call the kid the name of their sibling because both of them get in trouble so much that they're just like, you. For us, like we'll have two family members. You have let's say Mahmoud and Ali. So Mahmoud and Ali, it's like Ali, yeah, Mahmoud, Ali, both of you. That's how I feel about Samuel and Larry right now. I'm like yelling, listen, because I didn't know what it was going to be. First of all, Keela, you're supposed to be in a naughty corner too. Why are you talking? It's the main kids that are supposed to be in a naughty corner that are talking. Wait, but yeah, that's how I feel with Larry and Samuel all the time. Like, I'm yelling at one, but thinking using the other one's name. I'm yelling at Samuel, and I'm like, Larry, Samuel, God damn it. Oh, that corner is busy. I know. Larry, what are you doing?
Okay, so I have a list here. So
I see.
Mr. Renegade lied about being first. You didn't put him in a corner. Clue said something mean to me 3 days ago. You didn't put him in the naughty corner. Suka's been messing with me for the past 3 weeks. You didn't do anything to him.
You know what happens to snitches, Larry? Not with you snitching on everybody. You know what's going to happen to you in the chat? They're going to all pile up on you now.
It'll take a
What?
Zillage to do that. And he should be
What?
in the naughty corner too.
You are about to get piled on in the chat right now. You do not snitch on everybody else.
Killer told me to do it.
No. I'm not giving the responsibility to anyone else, Larry. Look, Clue's like, not me. I didn't do anything. You guys see that? You see that? Suka, Clue, and Zealage, and Kila, he's telling on all of you.
It's not
Tattletale.
snitching.
Exactly. Tattletale.
It is not snitching. It's what about
That- That's snitching. That's tattletaleism. Nobody likes a tattletale, Larry.
They
Stop.
tell on me all the time.
No. Well, you are older. You have to deal with it. So you have to deal with it.
Hey,
You're the
that
bigger
ain't right. And that damn Richard L. always be talking trash about me too, and then he takes off before I can respond.
one. Well, that's hearsay because he's not here to defend himself, so you can't say it.
Because he
He's not
knows
here.
I'm gonna say something to him. I've been
No,
looking for him for 4 weeks now.
He's been
these
here.
little man. All right.
He was here last week. Larry.
And he took off real quick after he left a little smart aleck comment. That's okay. That's okay.
Don't be an infiltrator. Yeah, really. Retreat says, see, I'm the angel in the room. See, you're right. There are some of you guys that are so good all the time. I always have good behavior from. Atreus is one of them. Atreus is always very well behaved. Very well behaved. I've never had to send him to naughty corner. American Patriot as well. He's always well behaved and good. You see, these are the people that are the model. This is what I need the majority of you guys to act like. Not animals. Oh my god. Oh, you guys are sad. See, Fionn never gives problems. Fionn is always good. Zealage has never really given any problems too. I see there's a lot of good people here. Wait, what? And as soon as I said people are good, then I see this comment. Sex ed, dare, drug ed has been proven to increase such use. And that's the purpose of those education programs that end in ed. Really? The purpose is to get people to be more sexual and to use more drugs, you believe? You believe that? Zealish says, I have a cousin that had a baby at 11. How was she even menstruating at 11? That doesn't make sense. How were you even menstruating?
Before you yell, I have, it's been 60 seconds.
It has
Secondly, that actually is really common in my family. A lot of the young women started their periods like much earlier than most people would say they should have. Like we've had women in my family started as young as 8. Most of them are closer to the 10, 11, 12 range, but there have been a few that have started real early. And it's just like going back through my family history. It's just a quirk of genetics in our family.
Keela's daughter started at 10. It's the hormones in the food, they're saying. See, I was lucky to be protected from that because my family, they didn't give me McDonald's. I had McDonald's maybe once every couple of years as a child. We didn't eat deli meat. And of course we didn't eat pork. We just ate so well. And, little TMI here, but I didn't become a woman until 14 and a half. I was 14 and a half when I became a woman. Girls are becoming women at 10.
Well, I see a lot of people in chat are saying things like artificial estrogen in foods and plastics, and I'd suspect that probably has something to do with the more widespread use of it. In my own family, we have records of it going back a couple hundred years. So like every family line is different, but in terms of it being more widespread, I would say that there's probably something to changing of the diet and of what what we're exposed to, probably fluoride in the water even.
Well, I would imagine so. Like all those things that they put in the chickens and so on. Keela says 14 is late. It's not. It was common. That was the age. That was a common age for women to become women. For girls to become women, rather. That was very common. Not. I mean, anything under. I mean, I think 12 is the youngest that we would go. Like 12 will be an early start to womanhood for us. 12. Wow, I can't believe that. So I have a question when it comes down to that. Now I know many of you are not doctors or scientists or what have you, but if a girl starts her womanhood at 8 or 10, does that mean that she has less eggs when she gets older? Because a person like me who started at 14, I don't know if that makes my fertility last longer because I started later, or does it not matter when a woman starts? Because I would think that when you start earlier, that means your fertility age gets younger too. I would think, but I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it all depends on your genetics, right?
That's a good question,
a woman is born with the
You're born with
number
all
of
the eggs
eggs.
you'll ever have.
So that means if you start earlier, then that means. But
Yep.
I don't think every woman is born with the same amount of eggs. There's some
Right.
women who are born with more, some women are born with less.
Right. So like I guess you'd have to initially know what the number of eggs is to begin with, because somebody who starts earlier may actually have more eggs than somebody who starts later. That's possible. So it's, I mean, without like looking inside each and every woman with a microscope, there's really no way to tell.
Right.
Until they stop.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy because I'm like, well, if you're starting so young, does that mean your menopause comes earlier? Like you start menopause at like 45 instead of 50? Or, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and some women do hit menopause like way earlier,
Because I'm like 45 is kind of young too for menopause. Well, I'm not sure. About that because my grandmother, she still got her period. I mean, it's a lot of information. I'm sorry, guys, it's a little TMI, but this conversation happened, so here we are. She started losing her period at 53. That's when she lost her period.
Wow.
So, is that you? What you're saying? That's
no. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just in the 50s, I think I've never heard it go that far. I've always heard just before 50.
Well, Janet Jackson just had her baby at 51. So a lot of women still have their periods until their 50s. Usually menopause comes like around 50 to 55 for women. That's what I know. In your 40s, you're still fertile, but just not as fertile, of course. You're still fertile. You can still get pregnant. There's many stories of many women being pregnant at 50.
There's a story in the Bible about late pregnancy. Abraham and his wife Sarah, or Sarai, or whatever her name was.
Sarah. She was in her.
Yeah.
I think she was.
But
100.
they were really, really old, and they were begging for children, and they couldn't have. They never did get around to having kids until Isaac was born, and Abraham and Isaac were already like well past what we would consider the normal age for menopause. And they, from what I understand, they had other children after that. But Isaac just being the eldest of them, the first, and the one that they were blessed by God with, kind of thing. So, it kind of makes me wonder if like just speculatively and scientifically speaking, maybe she really never started her period.
Well, Sukkah says that was just a miracle of the Bible. The story of her having a baby at 100 was just a miracle.
Yeah,
right. But she had more babies after that.
That's because of God. That's what he's saying. It's because he was directly involved. It wasn't something that her body just did on its own. Like even she laughed. If you read the story, even she laughed when he said, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna make sure you have kids." She was like, "Yeah, okay."
She's like, "Yeah, we'll see about that."
Somebody in the chat,
Fion
Fion.
says,
Yep, you got it.
well, I was just looking at Fion. She says it would have to mean that she hits menopause early. And I think it all just depends on how many eggs a woman is born with. Some women, I know women who have an abundance of eggs who are just very fertile for no reason at all. And then I know a lot of women who are infertile pretty much. Like if they get one baby, they're lucky. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
mean,
know a few like that.
exactly. And I have a friend of the family. She's 45 and she just had her sixth child. And she I mean, she looks so young. Like you can't tell that she's 45 at all. She looks 27. She's, you know, and as I say, like, and this is why this is okay. Listen, this is another thing that I talk about the red pill, the whole red pill ideology. I do understand that what they're saying is.
Sorry,
Did you?
misclicked. Yes,
Can
it
you
was an
like
accident. I'll
stop
go
touching
to the naughty
stuff?
corner.
Thank you. So, I know in red pill situations, they're always talking about the worst of the worst situations, like, women losing their fertility at 35. And it's like, yeah, that can happen. But, and then, I would say half cases, half and half. It's not going to be that way. And fertility is not something that you just wake up and it's gone. It slowly declines. And it's not something that, because even in my family, my own family, our women have babies until 40s, until about 40s. So I don't know. It just
Also,
depends on the genetics.
also have a question too. Is that with modern medicine today and women having um, successful births more and more later in life, like you mentioned Janet Jackson, you know, were were any medical treatments involved in that?
I don't think so. Wait, actually, you know what? I think she did take some fertility medicine, but she never mentioned having in vitro or anything like that. Because there's different ways now. You understand that there's pills that women can take that increase their hormones. There's certain vitamins that you can take that increase fertility. All these things. It's not always just about in vitro or nothing. There's so many other options before you get to that point. So, but I honestly, if a woman is capable of having her babies in her 20s or 30s, keeping it there is the best option. I don't recommend waiting until you're 40, 50 to have your first child. That's for the first child. When I say first child, I mean for your first child, you should have it in your 20s and 30s, because you never know how your body's going to react to the strain of childbirth. You don't know until it's there. What
Well,
is
yeah. I mean,
happening?
look at what happened with my wife. I mean, she had our son 3 years ago. Everything pretty much went smoothly, and then she had our 3 years ago, and then she had our daughter a month and a half ago, and it almost killed her.
Hmm.
And she's 34.
Hmm. And she's young, so that's what I'm saying. And this I say, you need to have your first baby younger, so then you can know how your body's going to react to pregnancy and childbirth. Because if you are prone to having hard childbirths, you do not want to have your first baby in your 50s and die on the birthing table because you didn't know how your body was going to react. But yeah, guys, I mean, no, that's not a cat. It's his baby crying. That's Larry's baby crying in the background.
How is my mic picking? She's not even in this room.
I keep telling you,
It's a
man, your
it's a
mic
baby
is
crying.
really
You don't
good.
hear. No, the thing is, he's used to the noise, so he doesn't hear it like we do. You're used to hearing babies crying. We're not. I think the
Yeah,
majority of
she's
us aren't.
pissed. Here, I'll mute when I'm not talking.
Okay. Yeah, I think with Larry, his ears are so used to it that he's like, oh, if I close the door, nobody can hear. It's like, we hear. But it's okay. Mr. Renegade says, blame feminism. Blame feminism for what? For women waiting until their 40s and 50s to have their first child. Because another thing is that women can have babies up until whatever, before menopause. So I'm like, if a woman is blessed to get pregnant in her 40s by her husband, and they've already had 3 or so kids, I don't see anything wrong with her going through and having her baby in her 40s, because she's already, been through this, and they're just continuing the cycle of having more children. I don't see anything wrong with that. I see it as a blessing. But if you're having your first baby in your 40s, I worry for you. I'm worried. And
Yeah,
my grandmother had 5 children. I'm sorry, Samuel, I'll be quick. My grandmother had 5 children before 40. And when she was about 42, her and her husband fell pregnant again. My grandpa, they fell pregnant again, and she had her baby, I think, at 43. So she had a baby at 43, her last baby at 43, because after that she said, I'm not going to allow myself to be pregnant again, because she didn't want to be 50 years old with a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old. She wanted to be
And
free.
Mr. Renegade is right though. You should put feminism in the naughty corner.
What do you mean? Is somebody named feminism here?
No.
What are you talking about?
No. He's talking about the concept of it.
Oh, okay.
So.
But yeah, no. So I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for that. But yeah.
No, we're like my ex-wife's mother is one of those who had children much later, in life. Like she started when she was in her probably early 30s, but she has 6 children and they're all decades apart, kind of thing. Like, so her oldest is nearly 20 years older than her youngest. So
wow.
she kept having kids like from like early to mid 30s all the way up to mid 50s and all that stuff. And so she was still raising children by the time she got up to like 65.
That's the thing. And that's what a lot of women are like. They don't want to be in that situation where they have a young child while they're at the age where they should be getting retired and enjoying life. And instead they're sitting there with a young child, and, having to go to school and PTA meetings and soccer practices when they should be on a beach somewhere in Cancun or, Palm Springs.
Well, they were ranchers, so that Cancun was probably right out. These are people who worked for a living, so.
I've seen that, Dex, and there was an Indian woman, I believe she was like 66 or something, and she was the oldest woman to get pregnant. Yeah, and she had a baby. She had a perfectly healthy girl. It was a girl, I believe. Yeah, I think it was a girl. From the pictures, it looked like a girl. But yes, I'm sorry, I was reading. But yes, the oldest woman to have a baby was around 60, and I think the youngest person to have a baby was 6. The youngest female to have a child was 6 years old. And that's because she was being molested. And she had a condition which made her be available to be pregnant very young. And of course, nobody would expect a 6-year-old to fall pregnant. But the man who was molesting her didn't know that she had this condition that she can get pregnant, and she fell pregnant.
I imagine that's how he got caught.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, pregnant at 6, I can't even imagine. They definitely had to do a C-section. There's no way her small body is prepared to go through that process. That is, when a woman gives birth, the pelvis opens. It unlocks. That's what's so painful, right? A woman's pelvis opens, and a 6-year-old child's pelvis hasn't even grown to.
Yeah, having a child at that age would tear a person in half.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they had to do a C-section on the child. That is just, oh my God, I can't even imagine that this.
So the child made it all the way to term.
Yes, she had a baby.
Wow.
At 6, and at that point, that's not your child. That's your sister or your brother. That's not even your child. I'm thinking, for me, I'm like, any child that's born to a woman under 19. That's your brother or sister at that point. That is not even your kid, because you guys are going to grow up together. It's not like you are raising them. You are growing up together with the child.
In a lot of cases, that's exactly how that happens. Their grandparents will take over the raising of them, and they will raise them as their own, and that's how they will know their biological parent is as a sibling. In a lot of cases when they have that underage birth. I mean, I've known a lot of people who.
I think that would help a lot to the family to not take it as a. Sorry, go ahead, Sammy.
Sure, but I've known a lot of people who got pregnant at 15, 16 years old. Had a kid early. Hell, my grandmother did. And I can't. It's hard enough to think about like being that close in age to your parent, right? But imagine like this child you brought up is only 7 years older than her kid.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's like
mind-bending.
It is. I mean, and it's just like in the opposite way, the opposite spectrum is having an uncle or an aunt that is going to school with you. Like that's the opposite way, where my grandfather, I've always talked about the story. My grandfather, he was 62 when he had his last child. It was a boy. And this wasn't with my grandmother that I was talking about. This is with my other grandmother on the other side. Now, my grandfather had 2 wives. So his second wife fell pregnant, and he was 62. And I forget how old she was. She was about 38, maybe. And they had a baby. And now that's my uncle who was going to school with me. We were going to school together, and I was supposed to bow to my uncle. And I was like, how can I bow to him? We're same age. And they're like, he's your uncle. And I still didn't understand that as a child. I was like, how can you be my uncle if that doesn't make sense. And it was so weird, my family trying to explain that to me. But I still had to bow to him because he was my uncle.
Well, that happens in large families, especially where people are having children at odd ages, either too young or too old, kind of thing. It's like sometimes you will end up with aunts and uncles who are years younger than their nieces and nephews.
Yeah. And it becomes a whole blend of a family. And that's life. But funny. Says my brother is 9 years my senior. That's normal. 9-10 years difference is not much. Well, Dex says he has an aunt that is 10 years younger than him.
Yeah, for example. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, that happens. I've seen that too.
Can you imagine telling your friends, I'm going to my aunt's house, and they're probably going to think some frail older lady is going to come out, oh, hey, I made some cookies. And then all of a sudden it's like someone younger than you, a teenager coming out. Well, thank you guys for showing up. I had a great time with you guys this Sunday. I hope you guys are enjoying the weather. It's finally getting good out there. Summer has officially begun. And just this week, if you guys didn't know, the world's hottest day was, I believe, Thursday this week or Wednesday. It was the world's hottest day on record. World temperature worldwide, not just, in America, not in China, worldwide. It reached the hottest temperature ever recorded, ever since recording has begun. So there's some news for you. And then there was an argument that I got into online where people were like, oh, look, you right wingers or you conservatives saying that global warming doesn't exist. There it is. You see, the world was hot. Our argument, the majority of us, I can't speak for everyone, but the argument is not that global warming doesn't exist. The argument is that humans are the ones making it happen. In my view, the world goes through cycles. And if you want to say that humans are the ones who affect the Earth's cycles, would you say that the Ice Age happened because of humans too? Or is it just, I just don't believe that humans are the ones responsible for it. I think this is a natural thing for the Earth to do, and it will do it again. In a couple years, it's going to go cooling again. And a couple years later, it's going to go heating again. This is something that the Earth naturally does, in my view. And I don't believe that humans, because they fart or there's some gas or somebody made a fire, that this is the reason why the world is changing. I don't believe that.
Not just in your view, in actual geological fact, we can look back and we can see that this is a trend, that the cycles are a thing that have happened throughout the existence of the planet Earth. Because before the Ice Age, guess what? It was super hot.
And that's the thing. It's like, so in those heating cycles, were the dinosaurs responsible for that one, or is it us too? Because right. I'm like, you want to say that humans are responsible for that? I don't believe that, because for us, we think that we're doing something so big as humans, but the truth is the Earth is way bigger than us, and it can handle the things that we do perfectly fine. We aren't the ones responsible for that, and this is why I believe. I know you want to say something, Samuel. I'll be fast. And this is why I believe a lot of lefties or a lot of Democrat people, they want to call us stupid because they're like, see, the world is heating up. You guys are stupid. You guys don't see. It's not that we don't believe it's not happening. We don't believe that we're the ones responsible. Samuel?
Well, first of all, they're referring to a 3-degree variance over the last 700 years. Secondly, dinosaurs probably did fart bigger farts. They were bigger than we are. The other thing is like we tend to think in terms of like the Ice Age. It wasn't the Ice Age. It was an Ice Age. There have been many of them. There have been many hot periods. We are technically currently in an Ice Age right now. Anytime that I think 30% of the Earth's surface is covered in ice, if you look at Antarctica at the North Pole, it's technically an Ice Age. So even though it's getting a little warmer, we're still in an Ice Age. So, I don't know where they're getting this from.
Yeah, and if the Earth was cooling, they would say it was the humans doing it. If it was going the opposite way, because a lot of scientists have predicted that the Earth was actually in a cooling cycle. They're saying that even though the climate is getting warmer, the whole Earth in general is going through a cooling cycle. And it's like, okay, so if the Earth was cooling, would they say that we are responsible for it too? The reason I say that it's not us is because I believe that these people use the environment or the global climate change to get you to buy their products, to get you to buy electric cars. Oh, I made this electric car. How can I get people to buy it? Oh, I know. I'll tell them that, driving your normal car is making the world hot. So I don't know. I believe it is all part of
Yeah,
marketing.
BTK makes a point about volcanoes cause more permanent changes than anything else, and he's right. They do.
That's right.
They the amount of crap that gets spewed into the atmosphere by a singular volcano, let alone the ring of fire that circles the entire Earth, is far more than we put out in any respect. Like, however you want to line that up. And imagine if something like Yellowstone National Park, which is the largest supervolcano above the ocean's floor, decides it's going to wake up and go off, right? That's going to change we're going to enter a period of extreme cooling then. Those of us who aren't immediately vaporized anyway.
Well, that's another thing. I'm like, okay, so should we send the world into an extreme cooling cycle? Because cooling is going to be more harder on humans than warming. Humans don't survive better in cold. We survive worse in cold.
Right, but if the Yellowstone
Yellowstone.
well, if you've been to the hot springs,
So you're really
it would cast so much ash and debris and dirt into the air that it would, basically blanket the Earth in a cloud that no sunlight would get through. We would experience a natural nuclear winter, which would, kill off a lot of plant life. It would decrease the temperature to unsurvivable levels in a lot of areas.
Mortician. I've never heard anyone saying that soldiers using flamethrowers in World War I made the world hot. Well, they could, of course not, because soldiers throwing flamethrowers, that's a good thing. That can never affect the Earth. Okay, don't worry about that. We have to worry about driving your car and cows farting, because the cows,
Their farts block the sunlight.
Well, so yeah, this is the reason why. The other argument that I got into was a very controversial one online, because you guys know I like to share my arguments that I have online with you all. The other argument that I got onto, I don't know if I want to do this because this could bring up a lot of controversy, but this is regarding hair, white women and black women's hair. And there was a clip.
Do you want to go down this road again?
No, but I didn't ask for this fight. This came to me in a way. So what happened was there was a little clip, and here I'll show it to you guys. I'll show it to you before I go. Why not? So we're gonna be controversial. This is what we're gonna do. I mean, it's Sunday. You guys don't have anything else to do.
Presumptuous.
Right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Come on, because here, because it's a short. It's one of those shorts. Here it is. I found it. All right. It's hard to find shorts, but okay. Here we go. So I'll share this with you, and then you guys tell me. I'll give you guys my opinion on it, and then here we go.
I have to ask you. Yes. Is that your real hair? In the early days, you were all different wigs.
It's so much simpler if you can find a way that your hair looks natural. Should I ask you if it's yours, Barbara?
It is, as a matter of fact. It doesn't look as like, I think I got to do a little bit to it.
Yeah.
So this is a little addition.
This is me, and it's addition. It's like added on. You see.
So the truth is, she did add on to her hair, and the comment section went up in flames. So what happened was, in the comment section, you had pretty much every black woman in history coming in to the comment section to say, oh, white women are always hating on us and our hair. They said Barbara Streisand is so disrespectful to ask her about that.
Barbara Streisand.
That was
not even
Barbara
That was
Streisand.
That was
Barbara
Barbara
Walters.
Walters.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barbara Walters. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, the Barbara of the other Barbaras, whatever. So they say, oh, Barbara is so disrespectful and rude, and oh, would she ask a white woman that? She would never ask a white woman that question, and blah 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 blah. Now, me being very simple as I am, I just came in and said, why was the problem with Barbara asking her that question? Because Diana Ross is famous for her hair. Her hair was a famous thing. She always wore it very big and fluffy. So I think it's a normal question for a person to ask, like, is that all yours? Because people want to know, is that really your genetics that's making your hair fluffy like that? Or did you have to add on anything? Now, Diana being honest and saying, yes, it's mine, but I have an addition in the middle. That's very classy of her. I think it's very classy, and I think that she handled it perfectly. Can it be a difficult question to ask? It can be, but at the same time, it's a question that everybody was wondering. And Barbara is there to ask the questions that everybody wants to know the answers to. So I don't understand why that was offensive. The other thing is that Black women were saying, white women are jealous of us because our hair is so beautiful. No, the only thing that I said, which can be controversial, but the only thing that I said was Black women saying that their hair is so beautiful and so gorgeous, yet they spend billions, billions, spending it to the Chinese, Malaysians, Brazilians, Indonesians. All of these people are making billions off of them so they can cover the hair that they call so beautiful. So when I said that, the whole chat went up in flames, and now I'm being attacked as jealous of Black women's hair and so on and so forth. So controversial. That's the video.
Well, I'll say this. Excuse me. As a man that's part of the community, I mean, I don't think what you said was controversial. I think it was a fact. I mean, in fact, a lot of Black women own hair shops where they're selling hair to other Black women. So, that's pretty well known. But also, I think something was missed in that clue. I think something was missed in that conversation, which is prior to Black women, buying those hairs, which, by the way, women of all races be buying that hair now, not just Black women, but others too. But prior to Black women buying hair from those other sources, you're forgetting about all of the horses that lost those lawsuits that they filed to get their hair back.
Get up off the street, Larry, stop it. Larry's like, there's some poor horse that's cold right now because Larry.
I'm just saying. The horses didn't get any kind of representation. How many lawsuits do you think that they were able to file?
Now, when a lot
About
of
as many as
people
they did against Cenk Uygur.
Yeah, that's true.
See, this is why they're best friends. This is the reason why, guys. Chat, this is the reason why. But listen, the reason why, you made me forget what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. When people make the argument that, oh, white women wear extensions too, it's like, yes, but if we look around, let's all be honest with ourselves. If we go outside and we throw a quarter at any white woman, it's going to be maybe 5% of the white women that you're going to hit that have extensions in or are wearing a wig. If you go outside to any Black woman and throw a quarter, it's going to be 5% that aren't wearing extensions or some kind of a wig. And that is because today the wig is so popular. I don't understand this whole lace front thing. It's so popular and Black women are loving it. The majority of the Black women that I see outside when I go to the market or anywhere, most of them are wearing fake hair or yarn in their hair of some sort. Most Black women do not wear their natural hair. And I know what you're saying, Larry. Oh, everybody does it, but the sheer numbers of percentages of the people.
Oh, they exceeded by far. And that in itself tells me that it's like they're ashamed to look, be themselves in that aspect.
Well, I don't know if it's that, or is it that Black hair is just so hard to deal with? And the thing is, I even wrote in the comment section on that video, I wrote in the comment section that I'm not jealous of Black women's hair struggles. Other of us, we grow our own hair. We have our own. I actually feel bad for the Black women struggle with their hair because it seems like, if you see videos, I watch videos all the time. You guys want to see?
Yeah.
I can show you guys the type of videos that I watch here. And this is where I look at the hair and I'm like, how do you do it? How do you deal with it? Because it looks like, here, wait.
I like to mention here too that there, why Barbara Walters isn't asking about white women's hair? Because she has white women's hair.
What do
She
you mean?
understands. She knows what white women's hair is like, whether or not it's real or not, because she has white woman's hair. So she's not asking about that. She does not have black woman's hair, so she was asking a black woman about her hair.
Oh, you saying she's not allowed
Yeah.
to ask that question because she's white? Is
No,
that
I'm
what you-
saying that she should be allowed to ask that question. And for all those who were saying that why isn't she wouldn't she ask a white one? I was like, well, because she has white people's hair. Like she understands what that's like.
But Diana Ross's hair isn't the type of hair that it's very loose. I've seen white women with that same texture hair. So I don't understand what the black women are speaking about, like just because she's black, but she doesn't have, like, they call it 4C. The 4C hair is the one that's difficult. And Diana Ross has very smooth hair. You can tell her hair is smooth. Here, this is what I'm talking about here. This is the type of hair that I was speaking about, that I'm like, how do you deal with it? See, this hair, it looks like anti-gravity. It looks anti-gravity, and anti everything, anti-water, anti-everything. It just looks, and
It's very
I can't.
coarse and hard.
Yeah, it's coarse. Even her just making a simple ponytail, like me, if I want to put my hair in this slick bun, I can just grab it and go like that, and it's done. But her, she has to go through a lot of work just to get it to stop defying gravity. So this is what I'm talking about now. And I was thinking that maybe this is the reason why a lot of the black women tend to wear wigs or weaves, because they don't have time for that. They're like the video said, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah. So this is the argument that they're having online, and they're calling me hateful because, or not hateful, they're calling me jealous. They're saying I'm jealous because of that. So
I don't see how.
well,
But, okay.
and that's the thing, and that's why I say, wait, you just go around calling people jealous because they ask you a question. It doesn't make you look good. It just makes it seem like you're trying to make yourself feel better by calling everybody jealous. I don't think that it's jealousy. I think it's genuine curiosity that people ask these questions. Genuine curiosity, like, is that all your hair?
That's why I
Or-
said earlier that it seems like they feel ashamed because an attack like the way they attacked you, that's what it sounds like to me. It's like if you were confident with your hair and you actually believe what you were saying, then they would have taken offense to what you said.
Well, that's the thing, and there's no easy way to ask the question. Honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like, even a person like myself, I want to ask certain questions, but it's going to be taken the wrong way. So listeners, I don't think they saw your hair. But that's the thing. I don't think that there's any way for me to ask the question. Even if I wanted to ask it, I think it's going to be taken wrong no matter what. Because even if I say I'm curious, I really want to know, they're going to say, no, you just want to criticize, or you just want to, put me down because I'm wearing hair that's not mine. It's not that. Why do I have a reason to put them down for that? I can't put you down for that. All I can do is say that men prefer women to wear their real hair.
Hey, Clue is offering to set up a GoFundMe to get you into a 4C wig.
Let's get Clue up out of here. Clue, let's get Clue up out of here. Clue, get stop. Why do you want to? Why? See, this is why you guys don't love me.
That sounds like a no, Clue.
I think he
Why
was
you
just
guys don't
saying.
like
I think it was just curiosity to see what you would look like with a 4C wig on.
That's not the point. The point is, if I did it, and God forbid somebody took a picture, then it's going to be all over line saying,
Yeah, it
look
would.
what I did. I can't even wear braids. I can't even wear Dutch braids in my hair without them coming and say, oh, look, she's wearing braids. She wants to be one of us. Like, oh my
If
God.
you want to do it, do it. I mean,
Dutch braids.
I don't know. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is.
Douche?
But I just think it's funny. It's Dutch braids. It's named after the freaking Vikings.
Well, the thing is, no. The argument is that braids are only black centered, and if you wear braids, it's because you're trying to be black. Just like,
That is verifiably false.
No,
but yes.
wait,
I get it.
no, wait. It gets worse. They said women who tan. They said in the same video that I have the controversy on. They said, oh, look, white women hate us so much, but yet they tan their skin. They get lip injections and put their hair in braids, all to look like us without being us. And it's like, women aren't tanning to look black. Women are tanning to look to have healthy looking skin, because pale skin can make you look sickly. It can. Or pale, if your skin is too pale, and tanning is a natural thing that happens from people just going outside and stepping in the sun. That is a natural thing. It's not like we're bleaching ourselves. Tanning is something that happens naturally, and a lot of people like the way their skin looks sun-kissed. They're not tanning to look like Lupita Nyong'o. They're not tanning to be black. They're tanning to... Anyway, and then the whole lip injections. I talked to them about that, and I was like, lip injections to look black? I'm like, you think that black women are the only ones with plump lips? Have you not seen a Middle Eastern? I'm Middle Eastern. My lips aren't flat or thin. I have a small mouth, like in diameter, but my lips are plump. It's like, this has nothing to do with being black. It is plump lips. Women with paper thin lips don't look good. It just doesn't look good to have a... That doesn't look good. This is why they plumping them up to look nice and sensual. And that's the thing. I'm just like, when black women being so disingenuous online, it kills me, because I'm like, have you never seen a Mediterranean, a Greek, an Arab, a Latina? All of them have plump lips and they're not black. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna say that.
Why not?
No, I'm not going back to the naughty corner.
No. Larry. Okay, I'll only give you 30 seconds in the naughty corner if you say it.
Okay. I was gonna say that those women of the other races that you mentioned, it's not that they are part black, but at some point they may have had black in them, and maybe a chemical reaction happened and their lips got fuller.
Chemical reaction? To what? To putting things in their mouth? Larry, go to the naughty corner. Larry, go. 30 seconds. You get 30 seconds. Oh my gosh. See, this is the problem. Talking about, oh, they may have had some black in them at one point or another, maybe last night. Oh my gosh. Let's go. Okay, so it is the Lord's Day. It is Sunday, so we need to repent. And Larry, do you wanna give us a little repentance prayer really quickly on a Sunday? You can come out of timeout.
All right. I'm sorry, chat, for not being...
Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you talk? I'm going to beat you. You're going to get beat. I put you in a naughty corner to not beat you, to not put hands on you. But see, this is the problem. You try to be nice to them, and just, who are you calling a cat? First of all,
I said Larry. Chat, not cat, chat.
We're not apologizing to the chat. We're apologizing to God. It's a prayer. Go.
All right. Well, dear Lord, I'm sorry for sinning today, and I pray that I don't get beat by the lioness. Amen.
Amen. Samuel?
Oh, I don't pray.
Samuel, figure it out. We're doing it together. We're doing it.
It's like, I mean, y'all want to make apologies on my behalf, you're more than welcome to, but I ain't holding to them. I am who I am. And I make no apologies for me.
I repent from for being so hateful and homophobic and transphobic and racist, and what's the other one?
Honest.
But I actually follow the words of the book, and I believe in them with all my heart, soul, and might. So I will continue to be what I am, because this is the only way I know how to be. Amen. There we go. So I think we did well. And this is why I don't have shows on Sundays, because I believe Sundays we should try to be good peoples. You know, we should try to. But
see, that never made any sense to me. Like, why try just on Sundays? If you're going to try to be good people, why shouldn't you try to be good people all the time?
Samuel, it's a start. You know, Samuel, don't listen.
Man, you love talk. Oh.
What, am I supposed to put him in a naughty corner, Larry? Am I?
No, I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was watching. I think
it's a fair question.
Clue called you hairphobic.
I saw that. It's not. It's curiosity. It's not hair phobia. It's a curiosity. Okay. Can I not be curious? And Saturday is the Sabbath. I know the proper day is Saturday, but in America, I'm sorry, in the West, we celebrate Sunday. So it is what it is. All right, guys. So I am ready to take off now. So let's say goodbye. Good night, guys.
Thanks for coming, Pride. Always a pleasure to see you guys. Yeah, that's all I got. Enjoy the rest of your weekends.
All right. Thank you, Samuel. Bye. Larry.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See, that was the way to do it, Samuel. Take notes. Thank you, Larry. Samuel, that's the way you do it. See, Samuel thinks he's above proper etiquette and speaking and repentance, apparently.
No, I'm just.
I forgot he can come back. I forgot he could come back by himself. What did you say, Samuel?
I said, as far as the speaking and stuff goes, anyway. No, I'm just bad at it.
Well, that's apparent. That's apparent. Go. Go. Bye, guys. Have a great week, because the weekend is over. But have a great week. I hope you guys have an awesome week ahead. Enjoy the weather because it is getting warmer. Be safe out there because, of course, the world is heating up and we're all dying of global warming. I guess we'll keep an eye out for this week. Let's see what we do this week. If any of you guys have any ideas that you guys want me to do for shorts, shorts on YouTube, send them to me because I'm always open to ideas because me and myself, it's hard for me to get there by myself. So if you guys have any ideas or anything that's controversial, not really controversial, but something that's in the news that you're like, I want this to be spoken about, email me. My email is in the description down below. And I guess I will see you guys on the next one. I think with that, I'll yield my time. Have a good week, everyone. Bye-bye. Let me try to turn on some music so we can go. Let's see. I'll do this one. Let's turn it up. Bye-bye.